Hello, dear parent of the Aquarius child. How are you today? I hope you are doing great. This reading is for June. Just a heads up, dear parent, if you have been feeling overwhelmed as of late, you are not alone. There is so much going on astrologically. We had Saturn go retrograde, and it will be there in Aquarius in retrograde for about 4 months. Then we had this eclipse in Sagittarius opposing Gemini. And then we have the Mercury in retrograde in Gemini, right next to the North Node there, here through about July 7th. That's when it gets back out of post shadow. So there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of big karmic changes happening around us. Separations, people moving, big moves, big shifts, people being surprised out of left field with just stuff is happening. So be gentle with yourself, with others around you, and don't be so hard on yourself because you will potentially, with this energy, be tempted to be hard on yourself. And just know that it's temporary and things will lighten up here soon enough. But okay, let's get started with Aquarius child for the month of June. Let's see what's going on with little Aqua. Two of Pentacles, that keeps coming up in that same position. And again, that's about balancing. So here's a little person, little Aqua, really figuring out how to regulate himself or herself. You know, it's about balancing, and it's also potentially if there's a lot of movement going on in the home, right? If there's stuff happening, something's different than what it normally is like, and they're just trying to adjust themselves and figure out, it's also about figuring out their own self-worth and confidence. So there's a lot of that happening. But because it's paired with the awakening is very special in this deck. And it's really about literally awakening to yourself, right? So you can have a little Aqua here, little Aquarius in your hands that is really learning their own abilities and expansion, and they're trying to figure out which direction to take things, right? Like really self-regulating is what's happening here. So you're going to notice in June, a little bit of maybe even changing their mind, like I want to do this, no, I want to do that, or maybe one day they're interested in one thing and the next thing they're interested in another, and that's really because they're trying to figure out where they stand in these big shifts and changes that they sense happening around them. Okay, so let's see what a potential challenge and conflict may be. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so some shifts happening, some changes taking place in the home front. So we have on the home front. So we have 2 4s here, and that always usually symbolizes the stability in our life, or what the externals that symbolize stability or that give us security and stability in our own lives. And in this case, the 4 wands can often represent the home life, like the family, like the parents, their relationship as well in the eyes of the child, as well as, paired with the 4 of cups. It's about holding back. It's about holding emotion back. So there may be, your little one may be observing a little tension happening here with the adults in the family in terms of withholding affection, or maybe being stubborn with one another, or maybe the actual edifice, the home itself is, there's a change or shift there, and there's some kind of restriction within the home life. Um, the 4 of Wands is a very positive card. It usually means that there is a lot of stability and love and commitment happening, right? But it's in the challenge position and it's paired with the 4 of Cups. So that tells me that either a new relationship that is making one of the parents very happy is potentially stressing out little one here, or B, that the stability and the happy life in the home has maybe come to a bit of a stagnant place here with the 4 of Cups. So maybe one of the parents is holding back from the other parent, or maybe the energy within the home and home life is being, you know, restricted a little bit or held back. You know, it could be for many reasons. It could be that the parents are working longer hours, or, you know, there's a shift in the family ambiance, or maybe you're not at home. Maybe you're traveling somewhere and it's not your actual usual home. And there's this dissonance here, trying to, this paradox of trying to feel at home when you're not home. So this is going to play out differently depending on who you are, and obviously your situation and the age of the child. But the bottom line here is, and the beautiful thing is that Aquarius has taken it upon themselves to self-regulate, which is very beautiful, because that means that they are learning how to soothe themselves, how to balance themselves. They're figuring that out. It's a little stressful, but they're figuring it out, because at the end of the day, it's rooted by the awakening. And the awakening is all about coming to your own fullness of who you are and your own authority. And that's what Aqua is aiming for here. Okay, so then we move on to, oh, see, we have a double whammy here. Four of Wands, Four of Wands. Okay, I see. Okay, so this is what your child, this is what would be helpful for you in order to alleviate this other tension going on here. And what it needs from you is the Four of Wands. And that's what's lacking over here in the challenge. So this is a confirmation that there needs to be something, some recalibration of the family unit. Whatever usually creates stability needs to be brought back in. Maybe that it's been falling off a bit because, again, people are withholding or you're traveling, whatever. But here, it's asking you to bring that stability, the Four of Wands, which is this card here. It's asking you to bring it forth. So in whatever way that works for you, it can be making up with your spouse. Maybe there's an argument happening and it's made you both withdraw from each other, and therefore it spills into how the children view it. So there's an emphasis here to reconcile that and firm that up. Or other family members that perhaps are having some tension that needs to get firmed up and worked on, or really get clear about, if, let's say, if you're some of the people who are traveling, make it clear that you can have that home be temporary home while you're traveling until you get back to your actual home. So there's a lot of emphasis on the home, the edifice, and the actual union between you and another adult, or the adults that little one is observing. Now, it's rooted by the Nine of Swords. So part of the reason that your little one may be viewing this as being unstable is because potentially you or the other parent or somebody in the household is very concerned about something. It can be finances, it can be, you know, your relationship, your parenting. There's something here that's got you up in your head about something, and it's literally disrupting you and causing you anxiety. So the remedy to alleviating what your child is feeling over here is for you to connect with this energy and leave this energy behind. In other words, instead of overthinking and being in the anxiety of why something is not working, reconciling it and making it better so that everyone who's affected by it can then breathe a little bit better. And I know it's easier said than done, right? I get it. I get it. We all have stuff we deal with other people. Okay, let's close this up with a final advice card. Yeah, it's about taking action. So the final advice card is to just take action on whatever needs to be resolved. Whether it's having a conversation, whether it's not withholding or fixing, whatever it needs fixing here, it's about action. The thing that is missing in the other cards is action. It's the wands, right? Because you have wands in the four, wands in the four, but the Eight of Wands, it's full-blown action, getting above and beyond the place of just being stability for stability's sake. It's about actually fixing it, moving forward with the actions that require the fixing, so that you can get out of this. Because the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, excuse me, gets you out of the Nine of Swords. The action gets you out of your head. And that's what's needed here. Whether it's you're concerned about money, you're concerned about, you know, there's so many things. You can be concerned about illnesses. You can be concerned about whatever it is that you are concerned. It's about taking the action that will remedy the concern. Okay. I hope that was helpful, dear parent. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. It would be very, very, very helpful. And I hope to see you back here in July. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.